Good morning, Carla Hartley here. It is Friday, July 10th, and I am still working from home, but fortunately with all the tech, I can be very productive from home while I'm waiting for my test results. So enough of that. Let's talk about the continuing discussion of the community property estate, and today we're going to talk about the fair market value of the former family residence and how that is a component of what you are going to receive or not receive or have to pay the other side in order to make sure that you come out of the house with your fair share of the former family residence. So let's get started with how do we determine the value of real property? This pretty much applies to residential real property. Today's discussion, I'm not discussing commercial real property today. We'll get to that later. That tends to be more complicated and a less common solution, a less common problem as well. So let's start with the fair market value. Fair market value can be established one of three ways as far as the court is concerned. One, the parties can pick a number and agree to it. That is risky, but it can be done. We both agree that the house is worth this much money. You sign a stipulation, the house is worth that much money. Then you start working on figuring out how you can distribute the equity that's in the house. The next step would be, or the next possibility, for us determining the fair market value of the property is to say, hey, we know who's going to get the house. We've got an agreement on this. So let's just have the bank do the appraisal while you're refinancing the house. That's going to be risky to the party who is surrendering the house to the other side. The reason for that is the value of the house established by a bank is almost always less than the actual fair market value of the house should it sell. If the house is appraised by a bank and they're looking at refinancing it or putting a mortgage on that, they want to secure their mortgage and they're going to tend to err on the side of caution. So that's going to benefit you if you're the party that's staying in the house and wants to buy the house. Hey, baby, let's just do it this way. If you're the party that is surrendering your house to the other side and getting a buyout from it, you should be wanting to maximize your buyout. So my thought would be go with option number 3, which is to get a certified general real estate appraiser who has testified in court before and can testify in court again to support his report to determine the value of the former family residence at the time of trial or settlement or whenever you guys stipulate to it. Okay? If you're moving forward, you get this expert in train early, you might be able to wrap up your whole dissolution proceeding a lot faster. Okay, there's some things that sometimes a disso will take a long time and you don't want to get the appraisal early. But a lot of times, if you start working on these very basic numbers early, you're going to have a much better chance of minimizing your attorney's fees and costs and getting out of this divorce procedure much more expeditiously than if you drag it out. That's kind of true across the board. Again, sometimes it takes a while, but we have a number of experts that we know that have pretty quick turnaround times and always do good work. It is money well spent. The expert costs between $450 and $500 in today's economy as a general rule. That is money that is so well spent. It saves you attorney's fees because you don't have two attorneys going back and forth saying the house is worth this much. No, the house is worth this much. By the time two attorneys have exchanged 2 letters, you probably, on this subject especially, you probably could have just paid for the expert. So that's my advice for how to determine the fair market value of the former family residence. And my next discussion will be the factors that go into determining how much you might actually get from the former family residence. I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you next week.